Legalizing gambling in Alabama is one of Governor Kay Ivey's major goals for 2024.
Temperatures remain warm, but we have some wet weather on the horizon for the weekend. We'll have the complete forecast details coming up. And in sports, the state wrestling sectionals are on the horizon beginning tomorrow. We will talk about that as well in sports.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
Hello, we're glad you could join us. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham. Details are now emerging about proposed legislation that would legalize several forms of betting in Alabama and create a statewide gambling commission to oversee those games. In her State of the State address Tuesday night, Governor Kay Ivey voiced her support for bills that would establish a state lottery and legalize casinos and sports betting. Wednesday, a group of state legislators held a news conference in Montgomery to outline their proposals. If the State House and Senate pass these bills, they'll require a statewide vote in November to amend the Alabama Constitution, which voters have rejected in the past. If the amendment is adopted this time, a lottery would be used to fund education, and money from casinos and sports gambling would support Alabama's general fund budget. The bills would authorize 10 casinos statewide, including up to 4 already owned by the Porch Band of Creek Indians. New casinos could be built in Jefferson, Macon, Greene, Houston, and Lowndes counties. Operators would be selected through an open bidding process, and then they would be required to invest at least $35 million into the facilities and pay annual license fees of at least $5 million.
Governor Ivey also gave support this week to an education savings account bill that would permit spending public money at private schools. Her proposal would provide up to $7,000 per child enrolled at an accredited participating private or public school through an account funded by a new refundable income tax credit. The bill would also give families up to $2,000 per child being homeschooled, with a $4,000 cap for families with more than one homeschooler. Ivey said the accounts would begin during the 2025-26 academic year. In the initial rollout for the first 2 years, families with an income up to 300% of federal poverty level will be eligible. In the third year and beyond, any Alabama family would qualify. The proposal would give $100 million to the fund every year, and Ivey has already set aside $50 million from the 2024 Education Trust Fund.
When we return, citizens of Heflin now have a new reason to go to the Lucy.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wedowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Valentine's Day is next week, and the Cleburne County Public Library is offering its patrons a blind date with a book to celebrate the holiday. Library Director Stacy Littleton explains how the program works.
These are what we term our blind date book bag. But we have one for all ages. You can do adult, you can do 4th through 6th grade, you can do early elementary, girl, early elementary boy, pre-KK, easy books, whatever. But basically what happens is you come in and you say, I want a blind date with a book. And so you choose a bag and you take it up to Miss Darlene or to me, and you don't see the cover of the book at all. So you have no idea what you're about to check out. And so like this one, for instance, we try to choose different things to motivate kids to try something new. And adults, say you typically like nonfiction. Well, maybe you might like a little fiction. Or if you typically like historical fiction, maybe you might try a little fantasy or any of that.
Littleton says that each blind date bag contains a variety of options to make sure each reader finds something worthwhile.
But in this little elementary one, here we've got Mouse and the Motorcycle, Warriors, The Wizard of Oz, Drawing, and Can You Discover an Alien? So there's a little bit of different things in one bag, and that just helps. You know, I always say, don't ever just check out one book, because what if you don't really like it? Then you got a backup, and you can, don't force yourself to read something that you really don't like. So, but give it a chance. But that is for all ages, and it just is to encourage people to step out of their norm and do something a little different. So,
when we return, Jacksonville receives an honor for its devotion to trees.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. Kay at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
For the 14th year in a row, Jacksonville has received a Tree City USA Award from the Arbor Day Foundation. That designation honors the city's commitment to effective urban forest management. Jacksonville achieved this recognition by meeting the program's 4 requirements, which are maintaining a tree board or department, having a tree care ordinance, dedicating an annual community forestry budget of at least $2 per capita, and hosting an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. The Tree City USA program is sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service and the National Association of State Foresters. And one of the first signs of spring, those little trees, with this little buds coming out, maybe not too long from now.
Oh, I hope not. I really am enjoying this weather. I could use a little spring in my life.
And sometimes Mother Nature gets fooled, and sometimes, these things start budding a little bit too soon.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is
happen.
right. Well, for more information about what's coming our way as far as it relates to the weather, let's check in with John Holder, who joins us now in the EAN Weather Center. John?
Mike and Katie, what's coming up next is some wet weather on the horizon for the weekend. We will have the complete weekend forecast for all of East Alabama next.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Mostly sunny skies this morning, giving way to cloudy skies this afternoon. Temperature still in the 60s, though, 63 degrees, still about 5 degrees above the average. Also 5 degrees above the average for the nighttime low this morning as we drop down to 41 degrees. Record high temperature 80, the record low temperature 16 degrees. 6:34, your sunrise on a Friday morning, and the sun setting this evening at 5:21. Time for weather on your street on this Thursday night, taking you out to School Drive and Southside. Out there by Southside High School and Barney Hood Stadium. Not as cold tonight. Temperatures are going to be several degrees warmer tonight with all the cloud cover, so only dropping down to 48 degrees. Most of the evening hours, we will be in the 50s tonight, so a pretty pleasant evening temperature-wise all across East Alabama. Coming up on your Friday, cloudy and mild for the most part. Park Avenue on the campus of Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville. We'll see 68 for the high tomorrow, a bit warmer tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies, a small chance of a shower, especially tomorrow afternoon. And as we look ahead to the weekend, here's the deal. Last weekend, it was wet and cold on Sunday. It's going to be wet again this weekend out on Red Road 55 in the White Plains area. But it is going to be a warm rain this time. Instead of temperatures in the 40s, we'll have temperatures in the mid to upper 60s all weekend long. As a matter of fact, we could touch 70 degrees on Saturday afternoon. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, and you'll see small chance of rain coming up tomorrow. That would be very late in the day. Temperatures again could be close to 70 tomorrow afternoon. We may actually touch 70 Saturday afternoon with a 70% chance of showers. In that Saturday to Sunday time frame, we could also have a rumble of thunder out there with this rainfall that's coming. Look at those nighttime temperatures, very mild. 57 when we wake up Saturday morning, 53 Sunday morning, 55 on Monday morning, but high rain chances anywhere from 70 to 100%. We'll have on Saturday night and Sunday night a 100% chance of rain, but the temperatures remain very, very mild, above average for the daytime highs and especially for the nighttime lows. That should be cleared out of here by Monday afternoon. Temperatures return to more seasonable as we move through the early part of next week. But again, we don't see any real cold weather coming, and for the most part, temperatures are going to be at or above normal, even with a cool down coming the early part of next week. One more look at the drought monitor, and we wanted to show you this because everything you see in white, which is just about all the state of Alabama, about 80% of the state, totally no drought. White means none. And that includes in Cleburne County, parts of Calhoun County. We're just abnormally dry in most of our area here for most of Calhoun County. There's still a technical moderate drought in parts of Etowah County and up to the north. But for the most part, the drought is over with across East Alabama. And we think after we get 2 to 3 inches of rainfall this weekend, that we are going to see no more drought to talk about the rest of the way. I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. as we'll detail your Friday work and school day. I'll be back here tomorrow evening for EAN Local News. We'll have the complete detailed weekend forecast for all of East Alabama. Coming up next in sports, we're going to talk about the sectional wrestling tournament with the Alabama High School Athletic Association. That's next. John Holder filling in for Namath Pitts with EAN Sports. More area championship games being decided last night across East Alabama. We had 1 on the girls' side and 5 championships decided on the boys' side in the AHSAA basketball championships road to Birmingham. Let's look at the scores from last night. Girls Class 2A Area 9. Ranburn wins that championship as they beat arch rival Woodland by 23 last night, 53-30 over at Ranburn High School in Cleburne County. On the boys' side, 5 championships here in East Alabama decided last night. Class 2A Area 12, the Gaston Bulldogs with a huge win at home against the Fife Red Devils by 3, 53-50. Just up the road, Class 3A Area 12 staying in Etowah County at Glencoe. It was Glencoe beating Westbrook Christian handily by 18 last night, 69-51. Moving to Class 4A. Class 4A Area 8, Anniston, a winner over the Hanley Tigers from Roanoke by 5, 59-54. Great game last night in Class 4A Area 10 at White Plains. White Plains wins the area championship as they beat last night Jacksonville, the defending county champion and also the 2-time defending state champion, but not the area champion. White Plains wins the game by 5, 59-54 over Jacksonville. And in Class 5A Area 12, it was Alexandria, a winner over Southside. That was played at the Larry Ginn Gymnasium out in Alexandria last night. Alexandria winning that game by a score of 71-40. There is 1 championship game still to come, and this will be a boys championship tonight at Pleasant Valley at 7 o'clock, and this will be the championship game coming up in Class 2A Area 9. Pleasant Valley playing host to Ranburn tonight, and then after tonight we will be done with the area championships and we will be moving on to the state sub-regionals. The winner of those sub-regional games will be advancing, of course, to the regionals, including the Northeast Regional at Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville coming up next week. Well, we've got more championships being decided in another sport, and that is in wrestling. We're talking about the sectionals coming up of the AHSAA State Wrestling. The North Sectional at the Bill Harris Arena at the Birmingham Crossplex begins tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. A number of teams from our area competing in that. In 1A through 4A, it's Ohatchee, Piedmont, Pleasant Valley, Weaver, and White Plains. All of those teams will be in Birmingham. Also in Class 5A, Alexandria will be in Birmingham, and in Class 6A, the Oxford Yellow Jackets advancing to Birmingham as well. In the South, at the Garrett Coliseum in Montgomery, a number of teams in Classes 1A through 4A will be competing there from our part of the state, including Cleburne County, Ranburne, Saxe, and Walter Welborn. In Classes 1A through 4A, the top 6 in each weight class will advance to the state wrestling tournament next week up in Huntsville. In Classes 5A and in 6A, and of course this will include Class 7A as well, the top 4 in each weight class will be advancing to the state tournament up in Huntsville coming up next week. And a special treat for you tonight. Earlier this week, we were at Piedmont High School, halftime of the boys championship game in basketball between Piedmont and Weaver, and we had a football award. High school football Alabama's after the game, presenting our game of the year to the Piedmont Bulldogs for their 22-21 win in overtime back during football season against Hoax Bluff. That was named as the top game in all of East Alabama for the high school football season. A thriller that came down, went to overtime, Piedmont battling from behind, and then they go for 2 at the end of the game to win it and clinch a berth in the state playoffs. I had a chance after the game to speak with the head football coach of the Piedmont Bulldogs, Coach Jonathan Miller, about the play and about the game. Here's what he had to say about the play call.
Well, you know, we were running a kind of a pick play. You know, everybody does it around the goal line when you're going to see man coverage and that kind of thing. So we didn't execute it great. We had one wide receiver not do exactly what they were supposed to do, but our guy, you know, Luke Reinhardt, just made a play. He caught the ball and he was going to get in the end zone. He was determined. You know, we knew we were going to put the ball in his hands because he'd deliver for us, and he did.
I also asked Coach Miller about the decision to go for 2 and basically either win or lose the game there at the very end in overtime.
Well, you know, those calls are never easy. And to know the game lies on that one play, you know, all you've been through for 4 quarters, it's a tough call to make. But, you know, at that point, I felt like we had a little bit of momentum scoring late, scoring pretty easily in overtime period. So I just felt like we had a little bit of momentum and just wanted to cash that in and see if we could end it right there.
And finally, Coach Miller talks about where this ranks as far as thrilling games in his high school coaching career.
Oh, it's probably number 1. We had a situation early in my coaching career where we were on defense and we made like a stand from the 2-yard line on a 4th down play in overtime to win the game. So, you know, that was a big play to have the ball in your offense's hands to execute and make a play and get in the end zone to win the game. That was a pretty big deal.
Again, congratulations to Coach Miller and the Piedmont Bulldogs of the high school football Alabama after the game of the year for that 22-21 win over Hoax Bluff to clinch a state playoff berth back during the 2023 football season up at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. When we come back, more from Mike and Katie as we continue here on EAN Local News.
Thanks for that update, John, and thank you for watching us today.
You can find us here online every weekday on YouTube, Instagram, and our website. So you can go there to watch our news, sports, and weather content whenever it's convenient for you.
We'll see you back here Friday for your news on your schedule.